What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Zamboni. I'm a musician and astrologer, and it is time to talk about the astrology of the week ahead. As always, I appreciate you so much. I thank you so much for being here. Thank you for rocking with me for years and years now. I've been doing these weekly forecasts for a while. I appreciate everybody who's been on the journey. I appreciate everybody who's new to the journey. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sending this to a friend and all that. Thank you for going to zambonifunk.com, where you can get an astrology reading. You can get a 10-minute reading like this situation where I'll just kind of talk to you about whatever's going on for you. Thank you for getting a 60-minute reading where we can talk on Zoom and sort of have a more in-depth conversation about it. Also at zambonifunk.com, you can find the music. You can find merch there. This is the cover to the new music. I am super proud. I am so proud of this music. Thank you so much for listening to it and sending that to a friend if it's as dope as I know that it is. Thank you for, it's holiday season, so you can grab a bit of merch as a gift if you want to. There's all kinds of things you can do at zambonifunk.com. Thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about the astrology of the week ahead. So this week we got kind of a busy one. This week we got some stuff that wants to change a little bit. So in the first place, this week we finally see the Mars opposite Uranus. So Mars in Scorpio is opposite to Uranus in Taurus, and this has been going on for a little while. Mars has been in Scorpio for a few weeks. It's not only Mars that's in Scorpio, we've got Mercury there in Scorpio. I think Mercury is currently making that opposition to Uranus, and a little bit later Mercury is going to move into Sagittarius, and so that's going to be a whole vibe shift. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But to see Mars, so Mars is the action planet. Mars is the one that wants to go and do things, and Mars in Scorpio is very comfortable, very good at doing the Mars things, the warring, the athleticism, the getting up and motivating to actually go do shit. Mars is very good at doing that in Scorpio at home in that placement. One thing that Scorpio is a fixed water sign, right? So I like to think about a river a lot of times, like water that's fixed in its course and rushing and just like kind of constant, just ready to go. And so there's a lot of this strong Mars energy this week. At the same time, it's opposite to Uranus and Taurus. So Uranus and Taurus has been there for a while. So, we've seen a lot of things with that Uranus and Taurus. There's been a lot of disruptions in financial systems and disruptions in the way that we approach health and bodies and food production and all this kind of stuff, right? Also, there's been a lot of labor struggle around that Uranus in Taurus, like this kind of agitation has been going on here for a little while, for a number of years. I would think that Mars in Scorpio, opposite to that Uranus in Taurus, looks like it wants to break something somehow. It looks like it wants to, Uranus is pretty disruptive by its nature. It's kind of chaotic and kind of things want to, there's a little bit of surprises or unexpected things that can show up there. Mars is the one who kicks things off, right? So we might see the spark to the powder keg happening in this kind of moment here. So it looks like this is, and it's been building up for a while, and it does build up all week, seeing this Mars getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. This Mars is super powerful. This Mars has the sun on his side. This Mars has Mercury on his side for most of the time. In addition to an opposition to Jupiter as well. Jupiter is also there in Taurus, and so that's gonna sort of empower the Mars. So all of the Mars things look like they want to go really hard this week. So be aware of that and see what you can do to get Mars on your side, propelling you forward rather than sort of blowing up in your face. That's a total possibility here. So think about ways that you can maybe, when there's a lot of Mars going on, I like to talk about get some exercise in, get sweaty, maybe if there is something that you need to do that you maybe have been putting off for a little while or something like this, maybe some of this can get you moving in that direction. There's also likely to be stuff blowing up in your face or something like this. Mercury is still there with Mars for a lot of this, right? And as Mercury moves into Sagittarius a little bit later, then we're going to see Mercury in Sagittarius square to Saturn in Pisces. So that's a lot of malefic malefic Mercury sort of stuff going on. Now, malefics, they tend to bring discomfort or problems or things, obstacles, this sort of stuff, right? So Mercury with Mars often looks like aggressive language, fighting words, or something like this. Mercury with Saturn often looks like no, negation, denial, putting up a boundary of some sort. This can also be uncomfortable to people and might start a fight or something like this, right? So that looks like it wants to show up in some kind of way. So if you are the actor, if you're like trying to put Mars behind you and get that to motivate you, then that might be some kind of situation where you can say no to somebody, or maybe say the thing that's been on your chest for a while and you just like got to get this out of here, and that sort of thing. That might show up here. It also might be the sort of situation where somebody is coming at you in some kind of way. Maybe you feel like they're coming at you sideways or something like this, right? So this is a good time. Let's remember that Scorpio likes to be strategic, that Scorpio likes to be a little bit, it likes to wait for the opportune moment and this kind of thing, right? So we're looking at a moment here where there's going to be some kind of break. And so if we're looking at some kind of break here, then there might be an opportunity that comes from that break that was not present before that. So I would be aware of that. You make sure you know where you're trying to go with things. As always, it's important to remember what you want in the first place. And then if you can keep your end goal in mind, then think about what action takes me closer to that goal, and what action has the potential for taking me further away from that goal. And then once you've sort of like got that in your head, then you can make better decisions about how you want to proceed. So that looks like it's going pretty deep this week. One other thing that we've got going on this week is that Venus is moving out of Virgo and into Libra. This is pretty cute. We like to see Venus in Libra. Venus is comfortable in Libra the same way that Mars is comfortable in Scorpio. They are in domicile in this situation. That's to say that Venus is at home in Libra, very good at doing the Venus thing. So where Mars is separating, severing, cutting things, hot, fire, burning, very good at doing that in Scorpio. Venus, who is naturally opposite to Mars, likes to put things together, likes to congeal, cooperate, likes to build teams and this kind of thing. Venus in Libra is especially good at sort of like justice and clarity around like how we can make sure that everyone is being heard and all of the right things are sort of being said and being contributed to the thing. Libra is the sign of the scales, right? And so there's something here about balance that can show up in harmony and that sort of thing. Venus is very good at doing the Venus things in this position. And actually, as soon as Venus moves in to Libra, then the moon is going to come by and conjoin that Venus. I think it's in the middle of the night in my location. If you live east of the Atlantic, then you might have like a nice opportunity to get that even in the daytime where you are. And so that might be a cute sort of situation there. So if we're thinking about all of this, right? If we're thinking about the kind of disruption and negation and denial that can take place here with the Mercury and the Mars being sort of like ready to fight and fuss and this kind of thing. But at the same time, Venus in Libra wants to build harmony or build a team or something like this, then this might be a good time to sort of, it's like a little bit like the enemy of my enemy is my friend a little bit, right? Like there's an opportunity here to build a coalition, maybe in opposition to some shared enemy or some kind of shared obstacle. We all have to deal with this bullshit in some kind of way. So what can we do to maybe work together? What kind of things can we do to like mutual aid and all of this kind of thing? How can I be sure that the people who are around me, my network, my community, my people, my homies, my relations, and what even are relations, right? We can talk about partnership dynamics all the way out to ancestors and the trees and the environment and the land itself and all of this sort of stuff, right? How can I make sure that all of the things that sort of bring us together, the needs that we have together as a people, are maybe in that goal position that we are trying to strive toward, right? With that Mars behind us. So that is a good thing to keep in mind this week. There's a lot of energy this week. I look forward to hearing your experiences. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Don't forget to send this to a friend. I appreciate all y'all. I'll check you next week. Bye.